Okay, people. Okay, all right. Take your seats. Take your what is happening here? Tommy, Tommy James, Tommy James.
Yeah.
Where is the rest of your classmates?
Hold on. Huh. Because they don't have dedication as I do,
Ah,
Professor. I'm here because I paid my tuition. I enrolled when I was supposed to, so I show up to class, and let's be real, if I didn't, then my parents would stop paying for my dorm.
all right, Tommy. You don't have to be a brown noser. The reason why people aren't here is because it's the holiday week. We get it. All right, we get it. All right, but also, yes, you paid your tuition, and your parents will kick the shit out of you. But welcome to Night School Horror. Anyway, I guess we're gonna have a nice conversation today, sir. You and I.
Very good.
It's a little shame though because I'm pretty sure Ace and the Fire Demon would definitely love the topic we're going to talk about today. We are talking zombies.
Yeah.
Now I'm talking light Nights of the Living whatever. You know what I mean? I'm talking about the walkers. I'm talking about
The runners.
the infections.
And the runners. Some of them run. Like Usain
Yes.
Bolt.
Yes, the undead.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're talking about all of them today. And it's gonna be a doozy, I tell you that much. We're gonna get into the lore, we're gonna get into our favorites. We're gonna talk some movies, we're gonna talk some video games, and even some TV shows too, because as you know, the zombie the whole zombie category has been saturated in the last 10 years, but it wasn't always the case.
Yes.
But right off the back, let's just get into some lore, right? And as everyone knows, Romero was the first one who came onto the scene with Night of the Living Dead in black and white.
Professor, I have a question.
Yes.
So I know that his name is George A. Romero. What does the A stand for?
Believe it or not, and I know this, the A stands for Andrew.
Oh,
So
I
just
thought
George-
it was Alexander.
No, I thought it was Anthony, but it wasn't.
Oh.
No, it's not. It's George Andrew Romero.
I like that
That's
name.
what it is.
I do like the name.
It's a strong name, actually.
It is.
It's very
that's
strong.
a very strong name. Andrew. George
Yes.
Andrew Romero.
Hi, I'm George Andrew. I like making zombie movies.
I could see that as a good pitch.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have an accent because he's from the Bronx.
He is from the Bronx.
You know, so he's a fellow New Yorker like you and I.
That's correct.
And rightfully so. You have to be a little demented, a little crazy to make some zombie movies, to be the first one to be like, hi, I want to make me a movie about the undead. But believe it or not, and we're in Night School Horror, we're here to learn a little bit. Did you know that Romero wasn't the first one to create a zombie movie per se?
I didn't. I actually always thought that George Andrew Romero, I thought he was the one that really, at least for me, brought it into fruition.
Yeah, well, he kind of brought it into the forefront. It was way back in 1932 where Victor Halperin created this movie called White Zombie. All right.
I know that band. I know that band. That's Rob Zombie's band.
No, it's not.
No, it is though. Rob Zombie has a band, and it's called White Zombie.
Well, he probably, knowing Rob Zombie, he probably seen this movie back in 1932 because he himself is a zombie.
He is. He's a Rob Zombie.
He's a rock zombie.
He is indeed a rock zombie.
You know what I mean?
I know.
Hence his name, Rob Zombie. You know what I mean?
I like that.
I think that name is great. We should get him on the. Hey, Rob, if you're listening, come on, Night School Horror. Come and roll.
He should.
Come and roll.
I think
come
Rob
sign in.
Roll.
You know, and we're all over social media, so you should definitely come and see us. But yes, let's get back to this 1932 debacle real quick, because it involved voodoo. And these voodoo, the main guy was a sorcerer, which doesn't make sense because a sorcerer with voodoo, I don't know if that's the name of the person. like of I guess I don't know. I don't know. But
I
whatever.
would consider them a voodoo person.
I always just thought of them, yeah, like a
Like,
witch or a
yeah, right,
warlock.
right, like a witch, like voodoo. I don't know. Whenever you watch a movie, they don't. I don't know if they give them a title because it's just like the voodoo witch, like how you say, like the voodoo witch. But I never
Mhm.
got like a vibe where they were like, "This is a sorcerer." When I think sorcerer, I think Jafar,
Yeah, yes. I think of Harry Potter, a little bit.
and because he had a
You know,
sorcerer's stone, right?
yeah. I think of like you're right, Jafar.
Jafar.
But no. He was a sorcerer that does voodoo. And he was turning people into zombies. He was killing them and using their undead bodies for his pleasure. No, that sounds a little weird. It's not pleasure.
I don't want to watch that movie.
Yeah, it's on the site. I'll spell it out for you. P-O um RN. No, sorry. H. No. Anyway,
It's not happening.
no, it's not. I don't know where this movie is, but yeah, and then ultimately, he turned, I guess, the love interest or whatever into a zombie and her husband, and they wound up also being the only survivors. Believe it or not, because they had consciousness, and every other person, including the sorcerer, jumped off a cliff. So, we're gonna stop talking about that movie. But thank you for bringing the term zombie into the forefront. Now we'll jump in back into our guy, George Andrew. All right, and Night of the Living Dead. And he used the words ghoul because he didn't want to associate his people, well, I guess his creatures as zombies because white zombie, voodoo, and two other Broadway shows, believe it or not, using the term zombie. So he definitely wanted to be something different, right?
Sure.
So hence he called them the ghouls of the night. All right. The ghouls. And I mean, we've all seen, well, hopefully everyone in this class has seen my pretext semester guides, and you should have saw Night of the Living Dead. And I gotta be honest with you, the first time we see somebody just jump off, well, not jump off, well, like just come up from the grave, kind of fucking freaky. I gotta be honest with you. Gotta be honest with you.
I would say so.
I mean, you've seen Night of the Living Dead, right?
Yes, of course I've seen that movie. I've enjoyed it since I was a little young man. I just really enjoyed it, and I love the scene. Like, they're coming for you, Barbara.
Mm-hmm.
They're coming, Barbara. Like, it's always a good time with that film because you get I wouldn't say that's the first time I was introduced to zombies because that movie came out like in 63 if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you got
68.
it on the nose.
No, 68.
68.
1968. So I wasn't born or thought of at that point. But my introduction when I finally seen this movie, I looked and was like, it's a nice introduction to the zombie franchise. Not, even though I know he calls them ghouls, but they're zombies. It's,
They're zombies.
they're zombies. And it's very slow pace. Everything is how you picture a zombie. When you picture zombies, you picture his zombies. Now, as times have gone on, that has definitely changed. But when you think of the real, like, if I say, draw me a zombie or tell me what a zombie does, that's what you would think. You would just, like, that's what you would imagine. So George Andrew Romero, he figured the right way to do it, not utilizing the zombie name, but we know what it is. And it's a classic, and it's definitely probably, if not one of the top zombie movies ever made. Though I will argue that number 2 is 10 times better.
Hot take. I want you to elaborate on that a little bit more, right? Because we're going to get into our favorite ones, but and honestly, this was always on my favorite list because it is the originals. But yeah, the second one is actually the Return of the Living Dead. Yeah. Talk to me a little bit about that one. Why do you think it's better than the first?
Well, I will say right off the bat that the Return of the Living Dead, it's not directed by George A. Romero, so I'm going to make that very clear. If anybody does not know that, it is not George A. Romero. It's Dan O'Bannon. I will say that movie, not only it's in color, so that's always nice. It came out in 1985. Yes. They give us zombies that move faster. So they step up their game in a sense where it's like, oh, this is what you picture of zombies. Well, now they're going to move a little quicker. Now, we're not talking Zack Snyder fucking quick because, I mean, they're sprinting in that one. They don't really sprint. This is the first, like, I would say, example of fast zombies. So to me, this movie is a bigger deal than the original Night of the Living Dead, because this one brought us to where we are today. Better acting, better story, zombies that look different in a sense. Not everybody's just like normal. You got like the rocker, you know, like everybody that's turned into a zombie has personality. This is the 80s. Right. So you get to really get an 80 vibe to that movie. And like I said, I think, no, I would never take away from George A. Romero because, you know, he's great at what he does. He shot the movie beautifully. But they're two different kind of movies. And this one, I just feel, in my opinion, just a little better.
Yeah, it definitely stepped up the whole lore of the undead, of the zombies, really. And it kind of just like, it made them kind of more badass, right?
Right.
Because like before when we were watching them, we were like, yeah, we're kind of scared of them, but like if I run fast, like I'll be all right. You know what I mean?
You gotta run.
You know, but now it's almost like they've gotten like a little like you said, a step up, and I feel like from there it was only up from there, right? So now I want to get into some of our favorite zombie movies. All right, and I'm gonna go first.
Okay.
And right off the jump, I think I'm gonna go with Dawn of the Dead.
Zack Snyder.
I'm talking about the Zack Snyder one, the early 2000s. Yes. The early 2000s ones. I love that movie. And I know this was like, I remember even going to watch it in the theater, and just the whole concept. I mean, I know it's a remake, right?
Yes.
But this one alone with the cast and just the way everything happens, and like the scene when she gave birth and the baby's a zombie, and then you just pan out and you hear the boom gunshot, chills. All right. I just love the fact that they're in a mall, and they're just like, you know, finding different ways to just try to survive, really. And then ultimately at the end they leave, and then they wind up going into this island, and then boom, more zombies. Then you're just like, well, you're fucked anyway. You know what I mean? But ultimately this movie was badass. I thought it was funny. The zombie kills were great. I mean, you talk about the first 5 minutes of this movie, and you like, the girl's coming home, she's a nurse, and like she's sleeping, and then she sees the daughter, the husband, and then you're like, oh, there's a great family. Maybe it's gonna circle around them. Maybe they're gonna have to survive. And like, you know, they're the antagonists, and then the protagonists. And then you're just like, oh shit. Then the like in the morning, the daughter's infected,
and she bites his neck.
And she just bites the hell out of the dad, and you just see her ripping the flesh, and then he's just gushing, and she's just trying to stop her, and then nothing. And then ultimately, as she's running away, she sees her husband that's turned, and they're all running after her. And then boom, Dawn of the Dead. And you're like, that's the way to start a fucking zombie movie.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit.
Yeah, I like that movie. And that is a remake, and it's a remake to a George A. Romero, funny enough. And a lot of people, when they think of fast zombies, they go to this movie. They think Zack Snyder invented the fast zombie. He didn't. He invented the faster zombie because they're fucking quick in this movie. And I have to agree. I really like this movie. I love Ving Rhames in it. You know, that he's just a bad motherfucker. You know, like he comes from
but ultimately he was just playing chess on top of the mall with his friend. You know,
that's all he was doing.
That's all he was doing.
But it's Ving Rhames just being a bad motherfucker. And Mekhi Phifer's in this movie, as we know. He's the one that's with the pregnant chick.
The pregnant chick. Yep.
So I really, really liked Dawn of the Dead. I believe I went to the theater as well to see it. It's definitely I would say it's better than its original. George A. Romero would definitely disagree with that. Of course, he made the original, but he wasn't a fan of this movie. He didn't like it because he didn't like the whole sprinting zombie in a sense. But it's just like, dude, times have changed now, and we don't need boring, slow walking zombies. We can still have that, and they do in this movie. But when they want something, they go get it. And like you said, that first scene when she bites his neck is that's when you're like, oh, we are up for some fucking fun right now, because Zack Snyder doesn't play. He doesn't play when it comes to this. So I would say that is a great pick for a top zombie film. I will give you one. Okay. That is a personal favorite of mine, and one that I always love to watch, and that's Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead.
I love me some comedies.
Love that movie.
I love me some comedies, and I do love me some horror movies. And if we can blend them together more, it becomes fun. This movie is so much fun. It's so fucking hilarious. Like, everything about it. It's directed by Edgar Wright, who's fucking top tier when it comes to directing movies. Simon Pegg, Nick Frost is in this movie. These guys
talk about
are
the
fantastic.
Hot Fuzz cast.
The Hot Fuzz. These guys are the top when it comes to British comedy.
Yep.
You know, so, and it's hilarious. Like how he's walking to the store just a normal day, and there's zombies all over the place. They're walking around. There's blood everywhere. He doesn't even notice because it's just another day for him. And then when shit finally gets real, in a sense where he starts to realize what's going on, when he starts killing them, like in these brutal fucking ways, it's perfection. It's amazing. This movie's top tier zombie film.
It's fucking great. I love this. Do you know that Shaun of the Dead and Dawn of the Dead came out in the same year?
Did they really?
2004, man.
Wow.
2004.
2004. Yep. I was junior in high school.
Yeah, me too, actually. That's kind of wild. I miss it every day. But yeah, man, no, I love Shaun of the Dead. It was definitely a goodie. You know what movie is not a good zombie movie, you know, and it should have been, because it's a great zombie franchise for a video game.
I know where you're going with this one.
I'm talking about my favorite video game series. I'm talking about my least favorite zombie movies. I'm talking about Resident Evil.
Ouch.
Oh my God. So the hope and the hype actually got me going with this movie in 2002, actually. So it came out before Dawn of the Dead. And in 2002, they announced that they were making a Resident Evil movie, and I, as a little old baby boy, got super excited because I am already 3 games in and I am fully invested. So when they announced the cast and they announced that it was happening, I was one of the first ones to go to the movies to see it. And when I got out of the movie theater, I'm like, what is this shit? The best thing about that movie wasn't even the zombies. It was the kills in the room with the lasers.
Right? For real. Yeah, that was the best fucking part of the movie. And the dogs. I liked the dogs, and the dogs
too. The dogs looked really good.
I did like the dogs.
Looked really good. But other than that, they just didn't take the storyline that was fucking concrete. And didn't really take all the characters that we wanted and brought us this shit that was like, let's just be different. Why be different and call it Resident Evil? Doesn't make any sense. Where was the mansion? Oh, we got a mansion, but there was a lab downstairs, which of course that's what it was. But like, there was this artificial intelligence that locked down everything. And then we had this super soldier in Mia Jovovich that was Alice, and Alice is the little girl. Alice is the little girl in the video games. She's not the super soldier bitch. All right.
No.
And I got to be honest with you, it didn't make any fucking sense.
Mm.
The only thing that hyped me up about this was in the end, with one of the main characters being infected, Umbrella just comes in. It was like, we want him involved in the Nemesis project. And we're like, oh, great. We're going to get to see the Nemesis on big screen.
Sure.
Which, I mean, further on, the makeup design and everything else was great. It's just the plot. Like, and maybe I'm biased because I played the games and I still play the games. I just actually finished Village, which it ties everything up, dude. Like it ties, like it goes back to like the first one.
Oh,
like dead ass, like crazy shit. I'm like, all right, spoilers. Basically the village and the person in the main girl in the village who has all these powers and is trying to resurrect her daughter or whatever, influenced the two scientists who created Umbrella. So
interesting.
Yeah, perfect way to tie it up. But those are the games. And the movies should have taken just basically, we've got a better one. Welcome to Raccoon City. We talked about it a little bit in our previous episode, but we got a better one. And that was literally the game. And because of this bullshit that we're talking about in 2002, no one gave it a chance. Back in 2022, I guess it came out in 2022. No one gave it a chance anymore because they were like, fuck all this shit. Mila Jovovich ruined it all. Wasn't her fault. But yeah, we got like 8 of those movies and they were all trash.
I mean, yeah, that's what I think is the issue because I like Resident Evil. Now, I haven't played the games religiously like that. Just, I don't know. I always never had the chance to really sit down. I've tried, but, after a certain point, graphics have changed and you're trying to keep up with it. And you're like, I don't know how long I can sit here for. But I did watch the movies.
So play the remakes.
Right. No, I know they have the remakes, but then I'd have to you still have to get them and then go from there and still have to sit down and go from there. But but I've seen the movies and I enjoyed the first one. I remember going to the theater I actually started with my uncle, and he was really funny because he was trying to do the kick that Alice does to the zombie dogs, and he tried to do it in the parking lot. It was really funny.
The little slide and
he couldn't do it, but it was really funny to try to see him attempt it from there. But then it got worse, and it just continued to get worse from on, and just keep going and going and going. And eventually, I just stopped even watching it. I never even finished the whole franchise because I don't want to. When Welcome to Raccoon City came out, I remember I was like, "Oh, all right, we definitely got to check this out." And we did, and we did an episode on Flickbook for it. Which if you go on to Night School Horror's previous episodes in the bank, you will see that episode there. It's a great one. That's Sabrina Ace's first episode.
Yes. I do remember this.
And that movie, I really enjoyed it. Like, I had a lot of fun with it because I felt like I was watching the video game with actual people who I think everybody did a really good job in that movie. It was funny. It stuck to the times. And it was I wouldn't say it was threatening scary, but it was scary to the point you were like, oh, I wouldn't want to be in that situation. So... yeah, the problem is that because of the Mila Jovovich movies, this movie didn't get as much love as it should have. And is it possible that we can get a sequel? I don't think so. Even though later on, now that it's, out on streaming and you can go and buy it, people have seen it and they do like it. So they'd have to, but money is what matters. And then it's not going to give it a reason to go for a sequel. I know Robbie Amell's pushing for it. I know he's been really pushing to keep going because, we now have Albert Wesker ready to go with the shades on. So it's like, and he was a good Albert Wesker. He looks like him. So you're like, let's continue on here. We can see where else there is to go. But I don't know if it's going to happen. And now they're more focused on animated films, which I didn't see the recent one, but I hear it's really good. And
I did.
Is it good? Because I hear it's really good.
Oh, it's good. It's really good.
So even if you went
their
that route,
animated
that's
films
fine.
have been really good.
Well, that's what I hear that's keeping them alive, too, is their animated films, which with the animation, you can get real detail. You can really push with it. So I'm okay with them even taking that route and just hiring these guys as voice actors. It's not a big deal, but I think that cast, that crew deserves more love to be those characters, because I really think they nailed it. I think Chris Redfield is Robbie Amell, and Robbie Amell is Chris Redfield. Like, it really fucking works. The guy that played Albert Wesker, I forgot, was Tom something. I forgot. But he looks like Wesker, you know? So, these aren't top tier name actors. They're not fucking superstars. They're that middle tier guys that can get the job done. But I think they went above and beyond, because I think all of them are really great. I mean, Leon looks like fucking Leon.
Leon looks like fucking Leon.
Like, I gotta be honest,
they paid attention to details. Yep, they paid attention to details.
I agree. I think that was a really. I think that's the way to go. But I don't know. I feel, then they tried the TV show, and that didn't do too hot on Netflix. And then unfortunately,
that's because the TV show was nothing to do with the games.
No, and Lance Reddick was Albert Wesker, who they were trying to do this other. It didn't work, and Lance Reddick dies. Like, in real life, he's dead now, which is sad. Mm-hmm. But you wasted an amazing actor's talent for a stupid show. That's not Resident Evil.
I've seen the first episode, and I was like, nope, and I didn't want to waste the time.
It's not Resident Evil, so. What are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, it's sad, man. Being an avid Resident Evil fan, and playing all the games like religiously, and it just hasn't been given a fair shot anymore, and it's all because of that 2002 introductory, and it made a shit ton of money, man. Yeah. It did. And again, like, I was young enough to just be hyped that we got something. But just looking back, it kind of ruined it. And now everything that says Resident Evil, people are like, hell fucking no. Mm-hmm. But let's just jump off of Resident Evil and let's go to another movie. Well, I mean, you give me a movie. What's another zombie movie that you love? Because I have a few. In here.
I got a bunch too. I actually have a little list here on my letterbox, because I have my letterbox, and one movie. Now I'm going to tell you. When it comes to really good zombie films, okay, it's not always about America. I want to make that clear. No. It's not always about America.
I know where you're going.
Sometimes you got to go to Japan. Sometimes you got to go to Korea. Sometimes you got to go to China. But I will tell you right now, the movie Train to Busan is fucking amazing. I'm afraid for Train to New York. Like, I am afraid that because this is a movie that's coming out. They are doing an Americanized version of this movie, and I'm going to tell you now, I don't think it's going to be good. They're going to it's going to be Dawn of the Dead on a train. This movie was fucking great, and it has a heartfelt situation when the father gets fucking bit, and the daughter, like, he realizes that he's going to turn, and he's just like, you got to go. Like, she's a little girl. She's not like a teenager, and it's a little kid. And you see the transformation, like how he's just remembering his daughter to keep like his brain, of I'm going to die right now. So I'm going to die with a happy thought, in a sense. And you see the eyes turn, and you see the flashing pictures, like, of his final memory. And then he turns, and she's gone by then, but he's just sitting there waiting for it to happen. This movie it's top tier. It's a top tier fucking movie. When it comes to that zombie, there is another one too. I forgot what the other one was called. Let me go check. Oh, here it is. What is it? Peninsula, I believe. I haven't seen this one, but I heard it's not as good as the other one, the original. So but
I don't think I've seen that second one.
No, the Train to Busan is fucking very good.
Oh yeah, I mean, what's great, what I love about Train to Busan is the gore aspect of it, right? Because they don't take any fucking shortcuts when it comes to blood and gore and how people are dying. Like, and that's what I love about like these foreign films, because like when in America we have to abide by all of these, like, the guideline, the Motion Picture Association of America, and like all of these like rated R's or rated PG-13, and those fine lines because money gets involved, right?
Mhm.
And you know, oh well, maybe we'll get more of the kids to come if we do rated PG-13, but we have to have less blood and what have you, and all that other logistics behind it. Not over here, not in this, because like honestly, they take so many risks. And not only do we get great zombies and great zombie kills, but we get a story that we actually care about and a situation that we've never seen before.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's this train that's just, you don't even know where it's going. It's like, oh, what happens if we even make it to our stop? You know what I mean? And like, is everything going to be the same? You know, and that's what I loved about it. And I remember seeing it for the first time and being like, holy shit, like this is probably one of the best zombie movies I've ever seen.
Mhm.
And it's definitely in my top 5. It's kind of crazy.
Yep.
It's kind of crazy.
Yep. 1000%.
Yeah, Train to Busan is definitely one of the best ones. And it's from there I'm gonna leap into another foreign one. And I'm gonna go into 28 Days Later.
Okay. Yeah. That's a good one.
And that's in London, I believe, right? Like
Yes.
right? Somewhere
Yes.
in Europe, yeah. And again, we're talking about some of the best like set in the tone movies. And I mentioned Dawn of the Dead before. Imagine waking up in a hospital and you don't know how you got there and there's nobody there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, we saw it again in Walking Dead, but this is the first time it was used.
Yes.
And you just like, okay, and he's just walking around. He gets out and there's still just nobody around. Right? You're talking about setting a picture of post-apocalyptic. Like
It's a great
he's just
visual. Great visual.
Yes. And then the best, and when you say visuals, I love when you said that because the scenes where like it'll show him tight, but then it'll expand and you'll see this whole massive area and nobody's around and you just see him and you're like, wow, like you really get like invested and you really get just like brought into that situation.
Yeah.
And then when you first see that first zombie, and it was only one, and you're like, holy shit. And he starts right. He doesn't even know what it is. He's like, sir, you okay? Are you all right? And then he turns around and he sees that he's trying to get him. He's just like, listen, like what's happening? Like, and then he just knows that he has to just run.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then just a build up from it is just fantastic, you know, with the lights and the sounds, and like it really just puts you invested into how to survive. You know, and it wasn't so much a lot of zombies and zombie kills in this movie, but it was the slow, it brought you back to like the other fear, which is people.
Yes.
You know, in this world,
people and
you know,
environment.
Right.
This movie is
People.
very tight feeling of eeriness. You don't know what's coming around the corner, and that's why I really like it.
Yes, definitely. Fear of the unknown, and rightfully so, right? Because I don't know the budget itself. I have to look it up, but it was not like a big budget film. I think it won a few awards in like film festivals, and then that's how we got it here in America. But yeah, like it was very like low budget in a way. I don't like saying low budget because like then people are expecting like made for TV, and it wasn't, right? It just, you know, not a big budget movie. And we got all from that, we got something great, which is like you said, the eerie, not knowing what's around the corner, fear of the darkness, fear of, you know, what's next, fear of people, you know. And I feel like, you know, of course there's some sequels, there's 28 Weeks Later, I don't know if I like the sequel as much as the first one, but it's all right, you know what I mean? I like the fact that it continued, like, but yeah, I feel like this had a different kind of take on the zombie craze and everything else, and rightfully so. I royally enjoyed this movie. And yeah, I think it's a must see if you haven't seen, and if you like zombie movies. 28 Days Later.
I would say, and I don't mean to cut you off on this one, but I would say this movie brought back the zombie franchise.
Yeah.
This is in 2002, so this is before Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, and before I think this one came out before Resident Evil too, and because
Yeah, I think
Resident Evil
maybe
was
you might be right.
2002.
So
Yeah,
this might have came out before, and so I mean they were still in post production around the same time. But
right.
Resident Evil was coming off of a video game, quote unquote, video game concept. This was an
Hmm.
original concept. It was, and I checked, the budget was $8 million,
Look at that.
and it made, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was $84.6 million. And
That's
this
100% investment.
like
I
I
mean,
said,
100%.
this is a tight film, and that's what I really
Mhm.
liked about it. It gave this. I believe this movie is when they looked and go, "We need to make a television show. We're going to call it The Walking Dead," because they keep it tight, and this movie is filmed tight. Danny Boyle films it really tight, but when he expands is where the eeriness comes into play and the fear of the unknown. And then all of a sudden, you turn the corner, and hey, there's like 7 people there ready to bite your face off. Oh, times to go. But keep in mind, they're running with you.
Yeah, yeah, they're running. Oh, they are
They're
fucking
very
running.
fast in
And
this movie.
yeah, and rightfully so. With jump starting it back and bringing the whole inspiration back and make zombie shits, and they seen that they sell. He got an 87% in Rotten Tomato, a
Worthy.
7.5. A 7.5 in IMDb out of 10. And then the audience loved it as well too, 85, which is why, I mean, I say go see it because with the budget of 8 million, they fucking brought back the zombie craze.
Sure. If you haven't seen this movie, then you sleeping and you need to wake up and you need to go see this movie because it's very good. It's awesome, actually.
It's incredible. Like,
I agree.
yeah, man. I mean, I want to talk about this. We could talk about more movies all day, but you kind of preluded into something that's really big, and I don't want to make this an episode on that because we could make episodes on The Walking Dead.
We
but
can. I'll be honest with you. I was kind of a jumpy with it. Walking Dead. I liked it. I didn't like it. I kind of came in. So this. I know you're a huge fan though.
Yes, but I got to be honest with you. I'm a huge fan. I used to have Sunday night dinner and Walking Dead,
Mm-hmm.
and we used to have viewing parties and all that jazz. And I love the whole series because I am a fucking zombie lover. I love zombies. I love vampires. And yeah, I loved it. But honestly, and spoilers, heavy fucking spoilers, because I'm about to say it. As soon as Carr died, I was just like, I'm done. Like I'm kind of over it. So I haven't finished the series, and now the series is finished. So I will eventually, go back and try to just like binge through it. It's just because I invested so much time in watching it all. But yeah, I couldn't. The last 2 or 3 seasons, I just didn't watch. And some of the spinoffs and everything. Now I know there's one in New York. And there's like one with like Rick again and Michonne. There's one with Daryl.
They're just
and
milking
like,
now. They're just milking.
of course. I mean, leave it up to Marvel to inspire everyone to create a universe, because that's exactly what they're doing and exactly what Power did. And a few other people are just like, we have a universe now and we can make more money. And whatever, make your money, boo boo. Cast me if you want. But yeah, I'm originally The Walking Dead was amazing. It started the same, almost identical from 28 Days Later, with Rick waking up in a hospital and then walking around this post-apocalyptic place, and then finally getting a horse, and then out of nowhere he finds all his people, which I still call him bullshit because the world is really big, and where the fuck did he just like, oh my god, look, this is my wife, there's my
I found all my friends. Like
all my friends are here, this is fantastic.
nah. No.
But what I do love about The Walking Dead, and the makeup and everything for the zombies are fantastic. They actually have like insane. They do have brutal kills in this show.
Yes.
They take no prisoners and they take no shortcuts with blood and gore and killing, which I mean, if you're having a zombie movie, you need. All right.
Mhm.
I mean, you need some of them because even
Right.
28 Days Later had some kills,
Yeah.
and they were fantastic,
Mhm.
even with their budget. So with movie style budget making TV shows, you better give us a lot of shit. And
Right.
it was fantastic. But ultimately we start getting into this, and again, this is very reciprocal, 28 Days Later, of the human aspect in this will to survive and just cutthroat people just saying doing anything to protect them and their own, which is a different angle that we haven't seen in just all these other zombie movies. Well, kind of prelude for some of them, because Dawn of Dead had some like social themes as well too, which just trying to survive and who to keep, who to save.
Yep.
But this one they just went in on it.
Yeah, they really pushed when it came to with this television show. And like I said, I jumped in here and there. I know when Negan came in, like I was like, I gotta watch this. Like it was Jeffrey Dean Morgan. How do I not
come on?
Watch
It's Jeffrey Dean Morgan,
and it was fucking amazing. And then it just, the problem is with a show like this is it went on for too fucking long. Mm-hmm. And I know it's comic books and whatnot, but I'm not in the mood for a zombie drama. Like, sometimes okay, but we want to see death. We want to see kills. Now, I understand that this is more realistic. This was a zombie apocalypse. This is probably what happened. People would fence up places. There'd be like little areas, and everybody would just be talking to each other instead of, well, let's go to the store. No, we can't go to the store because there's fucking 1,000 zombies out there trying to bite our faces off. So, okay, got that. But it doesn't do well for a television show when you're giving me 13 fucking episodes a season and it takes me 9 episodes to get to somebody dying or getting infected. That's why I always loved watching the final episode of the season, because you were like, a major character is probably going to get killed here. Because that was the thing. Everybody was off limits. Like don't get comfortable. They made it very clear. Do not get comfortable with characters because they're going to die. And that's fine.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm waiting too long to get to that point. That's why when Negan came, like, we started off strong. He started killing motherfuckers. And
with Lucille.
With Lucille, right. And then again, it took a nose fucking, it's like Supernatural. Supernatural started off strong because it felt like you were watching a horror movie every time you're watching an episode. And then when they took the religious route, it took a nosedive because it became too dramatic and too talkative, and we need to, put the puzzles to the pieces. And I felt this is the same route that The Walking Dead took. In the beginning, it felt like every episode was a zombie horror film. And then it just became like, it's more of a soap opera with a bunch of zombies behind a cage. And, they'll be talking, then out of nowhere, blah, 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 and you're like,
like at one point they're talking about major drama issues and they're like killing zombies beyond the fence, and you're just like, all right, people, like, come on, let's go. I get the slow burn. I get you have to build up characters and character arcs and everything of what have you, but I think you hit it right on the nose, Tommy. I feel like it ran too long, and they had the comics, but after a while they just stopped using the comics and they made it their own. Right. I mean, and everyone knows it's like, oh, they're going to bring in these guys. They're going to bring in these guys. Like, and I love the whole aspect of like how people were surviving. Like they had these, I forgot what they were called, but they would take like the skins of like the zombies or the blood of them, and they put them over them so they could walk amongst them.
Yeah.
Right. So they had people like that. And everything else. So I love the concepts. It's just like you said. I mean, they like you tuned in the season finales. It was always mid-season and season finales where shit goes down, right? And it's just like those are all the stuff that we need, right? Or just make it shorter. Like this is why I love a lot of like these Netflix and like all these streaming shows, because sometimes they're just limited series. They give you 10 episodes, they get to where they need to go to, and then boom, it's over, right? Because that that it's gonna have a nice conclusion, and you don't have to fucking worry about this shit just going off the rails and no one cares about it anymore.
Right. I think after they killed Michael Rooker's character. Because I remember when I seen that, and Daryl shows up and he sees it's his brother and he starts to cry and stuff. Great scene. Great scene. Like, and it's fucking awesome to see. Yeah, Merle. There we go. Merle. And it's a touching scene, and then he has to kill him. Like, he has to shoot him in the head and whatnot. And I liked that. I thought that was really good, because if you're going to go dramatic, that's a good way to take it, because as an audience member, you want to feel bad, you know, like, oh, would you do, like with Rick, not Rick, I'm sorry, what's the black dude's name again? That he sees. What the fuck? George? Was it George?
Yes.
Yeah. So he sees George, and George is his wife. Sees his wife walking, and he doesn't want to kill his wife, you know, and you get these like weird vibes to it. And I feel I like that dramatic. That drama is good. But when it's too busy, like I'm watching a soap opera of just talking and Carl, and you're like, listen, shut up and fucking somebody kill somebody. That's why you tune into these final episodes. Supernatural is the same way. That's why you tune into the final episode. One, it gives you a recap in case you missed all the fucking 20 other fucking episodes. So you get your recap, and here we go. Somebody's going to die. Who's going to die? I remember tuning in the night when Merle turns into a zombie. That was a final episode of, I don't remember what season, maybe 3 or whatever, but I remember tuning in. Even Shane, when they fucking turned Shane, like, it was fine. Let's do this shit.
And
but
Rick had to kill him, like, you know,
and that's fine. He was fucking his wife anyway, so he had no problem shooting him. But regardless, it was still his best friend. So you have that drama. That's good drama. But they dropped the ball because it went too far, too long. And I understand character development. I understand it's a television show. You don't need 12 episodes for character development. That's why you have seasons. And now they separated them? Where's more?
God,
there's no more character development.
Yeah, I just don't know where they're going. Like, I haven't finished it, so I don't know how they got separated. I don't even know how Rick came back, because supposedly he was dead. You know what I mean? It was just like they knew that, like, all right, people were rioting when they killed them off, so they were like, we got to bring him back somehow. You know what I mean? And they brought him back. Like, apparently he was hiding and he wasn't dead, really. I don't know. Stupid. That's stupid drama. Good drama is Negan having all of them kneeling around and fade to black. You hear just, oh, look at how it works. Boom. And then you just hear it and you don't see it. And then you have to wait. Yeah. And then you have to wait until the season premiere to notice that it was Glenn, and the way they fucking killed him was amazing.
Yeah. You know, that shit was dope. And how
eye gouging. Like,
he looks at her, how he looks at her. And he's just like, you know, I love you. Like, that's good. Yeah. That's good drama. That's what you do. Not hugs and then Negan's a good guy after. Like, dude, you fucking. Oh my God. Like, I understand why he was doing it too, because he's making a point. I run this shit. But then they had before him. Who was the guy before him? What did they call him? The general?
I forget. The general, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
He was a bad guy.
Right.
But he was a good bad guy. Like, you love to hate him. Negan, they were excited for, because they knew from the comics where this is going. But we sat there thinking, like, okay, here we go. And then he turns good. You know, I guess I don't want to say, like, you're bad and good, you know, because you don't know how you would act in certain senses. It's colonies, in a sense. He runs his shit his way. And you stepped in here, and he's got to make an example out of somebody. He chooses Abraham, which I believe that's in the comics. And then he kills Glenn, which I believe is not in the comics. So
no, it wasn't. Nope.
So a big twist, and I like big twist. And again, that's the kind of drama I'm cool with.
Right. And then they just kept dropping the ball after that. Like, literally, that was probably the best and one of the last best scenes in that show. And that's my opinion. I would love to hear from the Peanut Gallery. And again, if you want to come on here, we want to talk some Walking Dead. All right, you come in and roll. You have to, you know, like, comment, rate us, and enroll, and we'll talk some Walking Dead. And you can try to change my mind and try to change Tommy's mind too, because honestly, I love the show, and then I just stopped. You know how bad it is to have 8 years of my life invested every Sunday after watching football, knowing that it's 9 o'clock. I'm not going to watch the late game because I'm watching fucking Walking Dead, and I just stopped, like, cold turkey.
Yeah,
like,
I've been there.
What I mean, like,
been there. Supernatural.
It's fucked up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I challenge you guys, big Walking fan guys, Walking Dead fan guys, people,
There's the word.
come on the show, talk to us, enroll, and we'll fucking talk it out.
Yeah,
And
as
you
someone
try to
that
make a
hasn't watched
believer
a
out of
show
us.
like that, I would love for somebody that's into The Walking Dead to come on to discuss. Even if they wanted to do, hey, listen, let's do every month we'll do an episode based on a certain season where we have to go back, rewatch the season, and one episode a month. So season 1 would be 1 month, season 2. You could do shit like that, you know. And we're not breaking down episodes. And it'll give us an opportunity to go back, rewatch, and maybe this person who's a Walking Dead fanatic could maybe put a little more insight where we're like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, I was, and I really am excited about that because like I was watching Talking Dead right afterwards.
I remember Talking Dead
with the actors and the producers and the creators of the comics. Like I was invested, and for them to just drop the ball and lose me, not only me, lose Itzy and the whole 5 or 6 fan people that we were watching it all together. It's fucking crazy. It's fucking
bad.
crazy.
It's bad.
I'm gonna stop talking about Walking Dead because I'm getting my blood pressure boiling, and I might turn into a zombie.
Easy.
I'm gonna go from that TV show to a recent TV show based on a video game that they did it right. Now we talked about a video game movie that trash zombies, and then we talked about a TV show that was good, and then kind of dropped the ball afterwards. Now I'm gonna talk about and this is subjective, a video game based TV show that knocked it out the fucking park.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Oh, well, you want to take a guess there, Smooth Effect?
Yes, I will take a guess. Does it involve plants?
Yes.
Yes. Plants versus zombies.
Yes.
Knew it.
No, that's not.
Oh, come on.
Oh my God.
A video game.
I know that's a video game, so that was a good guess. But no, I am talking about The Last of Us.
I had a feeling it was that one.
On HBO Max or Max now, whatever. They might call it something else tomorrow. But it's a Pedro Pascal led TV show, and oh boy, Tommy, have you played The Last of Us?
No.
Oh boy, man, I'm telling you, play The Last of Us.
I've heard a million people tell me that. They were like, you have to play The Last of Us. And I was like, I will play The Last of Us. And then I don't play The Last of Us. And then I sit there and it's like Resident Evil. I like quick games, like that's why I love sports games, because you know I could sit there, I could play and go on. I don't know. I always hated playing story-based games because I get bored. But I have watched playthrough, so I understand the story.
Yeah. So I mean, just quickly with the game, I mean, I get why you don't play story-based game RPGs. But with this one in particular, there's not many, like, so with Resident Evil, you have to like, there's like different puzzles and like different things to grab these keys and stuff. And this one has it a little bit, but this one's more of like a thriller-based cinematic game. Right. And so you're always on your toes. Right. And not only are you fighting zombies and like hordes of different things, you're fighting people as well. And you have to literally take down people quietly or else they'll call backup and then you're fucked.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you have to get them done quickly because you have a horde of zombies coming to get you. So you have to get rid of these people and try to get through there before zombies come. You know what I mean? So like there's so much going on and the stories are so rich that like I think you would love this. So I say before you start playing Resident Evil again, give The Last of Us a try.
Okay.
Because it's not as long. The second one is longer. But the first game, it's quick pace and you want to keep playing. So it goes by quickly. You know, and again, the cinematic behind it, like every cutscene you're invested. You know what I mean? The story is so great. So now, knowing that, I'm gonna jump into the show, and the show is like, this is Resident Evil. You listening? I know you're listening because you listen religiously. Take notes, bro. Take notes. All right, and because Jesus. Like, but maybe make a Resident Evil show, right? Stop, like after Welcome to Raccoon City, you start from there and you make it a show because honestly, they hit it right on the nail. And I've seen, you could go on YouTube, I've seen shot for shot from games to the show, and standing ovation, like, and fully invested. You know what I mean? The zombies were great. The people were amazing. The world that they depict is incredible. Now we're straying away from the regular old, the undead, like they came or whatever, they're sick and they start biting people and now you're getting turned and this and this. No, like they're trying to cure stuff and create medicine and using plants, and the plants winded up, taking over in a way. And you get these pheromones that the plants let out. Like it's a nice, beautiful take on like the zombie thing, and it's like different. You get these fungus. It's what it is. They use some fungi to create this medicine, and in the beginning of the show, it kind of paints that picture of like we're trying to save humanity, and they didn't. And then these calluses that kept forming on top of these people kind of just made them go crazy. And the longer that they've turned, the longer that they got exposed, actually, they get more and more mutated. And they become different, right? We have different styles of zombies now. Like I know in Resident Evil we had like the lickers, the tyrants, and everything else. Those are all different variations of virus that they were creating. But this one is just like the environment that they were invested in, like embedded in, and the length of time that they were infected.
Right.
And that's what I love the most about it, right? Because you get you get some zombies that are blind and they only hear like sonar, right? Like, so you have to be immensely quiet, you know what I mean? But if they hear you, they're starting to charge at you, and you cannot get rid of them because they hear your footsteps, they got your scent, and you're going to die. Like, you get me? Like, there's no shortcuts of you're gonna fucking die.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's what raises the stakes even more, and in this first season, the whole first game, and have you seen it, Tommy?
I haven't finished it.
Wow. How can you just stop?
Sometimes other things come up.
Okay.
Plus, remember, I'm a movie guy, so new movies come out, I go right to the movies.
This show plays like a movie.
I know that. I know. I have seen multiple episodes, and I really did enjoy it. And Christian actually watched it with me too. So I have to get back into it. There's so many other shows I got to watch too, but yeah, I have to watch it. I have to finish it.
I think they're like 9 or 10 episodes, and they're very easy to watch.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, and if you are halfway through, I say just buckle in and go through it, because we need to talk about it. We need to talk about it.
It deserves its own episode.
Honestly, I'm calling it out right now, people. Right before the next season starts, we're gonna have an episode on The Last of Us. That's fair. That forces you to finish it. So
all right, that's fair.
We're gonna do it. But yeah, man, I love that. I feel like that show kind of like it told Walking Dead, hold my beer.
Yeah.
And it sucks because like The Walking Dead was really good at one point, but it definitely just said hold my beer. And it was fantastic. But yeah, man, I mean, The Last of Us, so good. Any other shows or movies you want to talk about, Tommy, as far as zombies?
Yes, I have two, actually. I don't know if you've ever watched this television show. It's called Santa Clarita Diet. As Drew Barrymore and Timothy Oliphant is in it. It's on Netflix. It only got 3 seasons. I feel that is terrible because it should have got fucking so much more. It's funny. Like, there's a sense. So what happens is Drew Barrymore gets turned into a zombie because she eats something and it ends up killing her, and then she comes back to life. And Timothy Oliphant, he's great, and he's fucking hilarious in this movie, because what he's trying to do is to hide the fact that she's a zombie. So they're real estate agents, So they're constantly talking to people and they're constantly meeting new people, and she gets the hunger to want to eat people, but she can't just eat regular meat, or like they try animals like blood and all that stuff, and it works for a little bit, but eventually she's like, I need to eat a person. So he now has to help her find somebody to eat. Kind of like Little Shop of Horror's like essence to it. But the reason that it's really funny is because he's not for it. He doesn't want to do it because it's his wife. You know, he's like, I love my wife. I don't want her. I don't want to kill her. You know, we're going to find a way. So it's almost like we're going to live with this. Okay. It's a bad situation. But we need to live with this. So I'll deal with it. Because she's like really horny. Like she's always willing to fuck. So it's really, really fucking funny. And Nathan Fillion is in it, and he's like this real jackass that's trying to get with, like, he's trying to like fuck Drew Barrymore, and he's like a real piece of shit there. Joel McHale is in it. They're like the rival. Him and his wife are the rival real estate agents. I'm telling you, because all she wants to do is kill them. She's like, listen, I can end this really quick. All I'll do is just kill them, and I'll eat them, and they'll be gone. You'll never be able to find the body parts. And Timothy Olyphant is like stuck in the mode of thinking like, well, I don't like these people, but I don't think I'm okay with them getting killed. Like he's, you know, he's at that point of like, I don't know if I don't know if they deserve death, but she's a zombie, so she can't exactly stop it. So if she gets the hunger, she's going to lash. And then the daughter's involved. And she thinks it's cool. Like, she thinks it's awesome that, like, she's sad because she's like, technically she's dead because she has no pulse. Right. But she's like, you're a fucking zombie. Like, that's fucking cool. And then, like, the neighbor finds out, and he's in, like, a bunch of movies. Like, if you've seen his face, you'd know who he is. He's another one. He goes, oh, my God, like, this is fucking awesome. Like, we got to run tests on you. Like, you know, he's into science, and he's, like, into zombie flicks and shit. So he's, like, trying to figure out what kind of zombie she is. He's like, you know, can you run fast and all this stuff. It's very funny. It only got 3 seasons, which is, I think, is a horrible, horrible fucking way to go, because they didn't really have a truly ending episode. And it's because of budget reasons. It costs too much money to make with not enough viewers. Yet it's got 92% on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't know. I would say that is plenty of fucking viewers, but I'm not Netflix. But I would say,
I mean, I've seen the trailer.
It's worth. It's like, again, it's 3 seasons. It's short episodes. They're like, you know, normal 25 minutes long. And it's funny. It's actually funny. And I love Timothy Olyphant. I think he's fucking awesome. So just the fact that he's like, it's like, my wife's a zombie. I still love her. She still wants to fuck because she always wants to fuck. And
nice.
It's more of the sense of being like, I have to keep her alive because she'll start dying. Like, her finger starts falling off if she's not eating people, you know? So he's just like, I have to do what it takes to keep her alive, but I don't want to kill people. So the dilemma makes his character even funnier. Right. Cause he has to figure out what to do. So when you have people like Joe McHale and the other, I forgot who the other girl is, where they're just pieces of shit. They're just straight up pieces of shit. And she's like, listen, I'll fucking kill him right now. And he's just like, I hate these people, but I just don't think they deserve to die. Like, you know, now he's trying to figure out the sense of, does a person truly deserve to die? You know, just to feed my wife. But then, like I said, it's worth watching. If nobody's ever, the listeners, if they've never seen it, I think it's a total must see. And it's very funny. It's gory. It's fucking gory too. Like it's good. She makes shakes. Like they kill people and she'll put it in a blender and she makes shakes. So when she's she's selling a house drinking the shake. Like, she's just, funny. This is a great fireplace, drinking the shake. And people are like, oh my God, what is that? What are you drinking? She goes, oh, it's a strawberry milkshake. Like, can I try? No, you know, I don't know if you're going to like it. But when you have like the neighbor and like the daughter who find it fucking awesome, the fact that she's a zombie, like, you're a fucking zombie, like, that's so cool. It's just like, she's dead. Like, it's not that cool. She's literally deteriorating right in front of you.
Right.
So a definite must see. A very funny show.
Yeah, no, I mean it sounds hilarious. I'll give you a promise if you give me a promise. I'll watch that show if you watch The Last of Us.
Yeah, that's fine. I could go with that.
All right.
And then
There's
we
one
both
season
need to
compared to
watch.
three.
We both need to watch. All of Us Are Dead.
Yes, yes, I know. Actually, believe it or not, I it's on my queue. And my parents seen this show, and they're like,
Really?
"This is fucking awesome."
I hear it's great.
And I'm like, I need to watch it. And it's one season. I think they got renewed for the second.
They did.
Right?
They are
hasn't
making
came out yet.
They're making a second one.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, 88% Rotten Tomatoes, 7.5 on IMDb. And it's Korean, right? Like it's a
I think so.
Korean show.
Yes, South Korea.
South Korea. Yeah, I mean, Korea just fuck. They're hitting it now.
Well, it's
They're
dirty.
they're hitting their stride.
Very dirty.
But yeah, I heard it's fucking fantastic. I can't really, and you can't really fucking like get into details, but talking about the zombie craze is well and fine right now.
In a high school.
Yeah, in a high school.
It looks fucking awesome. I have wanted to sit down and watch it, and I plan to do so as well. I definitely will watch that show.
Yeah, man, I agree. I am too. But a few honorable mentions that we haven't like mentioned. Well, of course, because duh. But no, we're not gonna get too deeply into it because we are running out of time. And the bell will sound shortly. We got a couple minutes. But we have Zombieland. Haven't talked about.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fucking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
We have Woody Harrelson in that bitch.
Yes.
We have
Jesse
who else?
Eisenberg.
Bill Murray's in that movie. For a little bit.
Yeah. For a little bit.
Yeah,
Jesse Eisenberg.
Yep, Jesse Eisenberg. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's a nice comedy horror. I love it. Not so much the second one, but the first one.
First one's great.
Really
Not a
good.
big fan of the second one.
Tallahassee, they all calling each other by where the state that they came from, because no one needs names in the post-apocalyptic world.
Which is true.
Bill Murray turned into a zombie, which is fantastic. That's a great movie. What else?
Planet Terror. Planet Terror.
Planet Terror. Yep.
Planet Terror is fantastic. That's Quentin Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez, like fucking nuts. Bruce Willis is in it. Rosario Dawson's in it.
Wasn't that part of like the double feature that came out?
Death Proof. Yeah, it was Death Proof.
Yes.
That's the Kurt Russell one, which
Yeah,
that was a good one.
Yeah.
It was Death Proof and Planet Terror. And Planet Terror is when she sticks the machine gun in her leg and fucking starts shooting it. Like that shit is fucking badass. That I likes me those movies. It's crazy, and there's zombies in that movie because they're turned with that like weird chemicals that Bruce Willis is looking to get, and he turns himself into like that crazy type of zombie. Shit's fucking wild. That movie's fucking amazing.
Yeah, such a good movie. I almost forgot about that one. So thank you for bringing it up.
A great one.
Such a good movie. I haven't seen it in so long, but it's really, really.
I just recently watched them, both of them.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, I feel like you have to, right? Because it's double feature,
Yes.
Even though they have nothing to do with each other.
No, but it's like the way they're filmed as well with the graininess to it. Like, you get the little sparks that's like the when you're watching it. They're just really good. Really good movies.
Yeah, no, it's really good. There's some funnier ones, like Warm Bodies. It was almost kind of like your Santa Clara.
I did see Warm Bodies.
I did. It was okay.
It was fine. Where he pretty much comes back to life because of love. I would say it's more dramatic than it is more than Santa Clarita. But it was fine. And it Wreck is another one.
Wreck, yes.
Wreck is good. Spanish. Fucking amazing zombie.
Isn't
fucking
that like a
film.
found footage one, right?
Yes. That's where they're in the, I believe it's an apartment building, the first one.
Yep.
And man, that's fucking, shit. They're fucking crazy zombies in that one. Quarantine is the Americanized version of Wreck. Wreck's better. Yes. Quarantine was fine, but it was almost shot for shot, just in English.
Yeah, I agree. And I like the Spanish one better. Here's a deep cut. And this is like a romantic one too. My Boyfriend's Back.
Um,
1999.
I
Have you
don't
seen
think
it?
I've ever seen My Boyfriend's Back.
Good, you don't have to.
Good.
But it's
I'm
it's
not
fucking
going to.
hilarious. I remember watching it on the Saturday afternoon movies on Channel 11.
Ah, I remember
Um,
them.
yeah, yeah.
I
I
do
mean,
remember them.
it's whatever. Ooh, Once Bitten, Jim Carrey.
Ah, that's a
No, wait, that's
vampire.
a
That's a
vampire. That's a
vampire
vampire.
movie.
Sorry,
That is a
my
vampire
bad.
movie.
My bad. We're gonna get into vampires another time, but
Love
this is
vampires.
still zombie. Let's
I
keep
got
them.
one for you. I have one for you.
Yep.
Scooby Doo on Zombie Island.
Oh,
A good
right.
animation zombie movie.
That one's a good
And
one.
I have another one for you that I think would be disrespectful not to talk about, since the bell will be ringing soon, and that's Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Ah, yes.
It was
Michael
filmed like a
Jackson.
movie. It was filmed like a movie.
It was. It was. It was like a short film.
Mhm.
It was
like a
fantastic.
25-minute long video. So then
Fucking
that's
amazing.
zombie. You think zombies, you're thinking fucking, you know, and Michael Jackson looked like a great zombie.
Oh yeah, and the visual effects in that fucking thing was beyond.
Oh, yeah.
It was like before its time. Like Jesus Christ, you know, like you believe that Thriller has not went platinum?
Wait, really?
Like the album itself,
Really?
didn't go platinum. Yeah,
Really?
it did not. I swear to you,
Wow.
it's crazy, right?
Yeah, that's fucking.
But the movie Thriller,
That angers me.
phenomenal.
That angers
Yeah, it's
me.
crazy, right?
Kind of upset
Crazy,
about that.
crazy, crazy. A few other ones. I mean, but Thriller. I mean, come on, guys. If you want to start a whole zombie like train, a whole zombie little binge, start with Thriller.
And
Start with
also
Thriller.
Zombies by the Cranberries.
Oh, yes, that one too.
Zombies.
Zombie. But yes,
In your
yes. You
head.
start with Thriller, then you watch Night of the Living Dead, and then you just go down a wormhole. But you do not watch World War Z.
No.
No,
No.
no, you don't.
Not
No, you
fair.
don't. Read the book. It's a lot better.
I hear.
Yeah, I didn't read it, but I heard it's a lot better.
I heard.
I tried reading it, and nah, I just well, listening to it.
Pass.
Yeah, it's a hard no for me. But yeah, man. Shit, the bell's gonna ring. But before we end, Tommy, I have a question for you, and then I'll rebuttal. We all know how you get turned into a zombie. The base of turning into a zombie.
Yeah.
Right. You have to get bit by them, and then you turn.
Mhm.
But the original zombie apocalypse, how it all starts, there's different variations of them in movies and TV, right? I gotta ask you, what is your favorite iteration of how to turn into a zombie?
The best one is 28 days later with the blood dropping in his fucking eye. That shit is fucking awesome. How it drops in his eye and he starts fucking losing his shit and he's telling him to back off because he knows he's turning and he's telling him, you gotta back off, back off. That, to me, is the best transformation in zombie history. I love it.
I gotta be honest with you, that is the best one. And mind you, the best iteration of like film wise on how they turn into it. Yes,
Mhm.
I agree with you. All right. But originally the zombie apocalypse started with like rabies and like
Right, like
monkeys and stuff.
yeah,
So,
outbreak and whatnot.
Mhm.
So that's how it would like the disease would kill you, but would still kind of bring you back to life in a sense.
Yeah.
I feel like we've passed that kind of a sense where it's, I mean, we still get it. There's still movies where they utilize the animal blood or being bit by a certain thing or eating a certain
Right.
thing. There's going to be a COVID movie out that turns people into zombies. Bath salt was turning people into zombies. But when I think of somebody like the transformation, it's usually a very slow transformation. Train to Busan, another one will come up because of the dramaticness of it. It's beautifully shot.
Yeah.
But 28 days later was just a simple drop of blood in that man's eye. And I think it took, 25 seconds, maybe a minute. And he was, boop, ready to go. And he was, and you were like, oh, yes, let's go. I believe that was Brendan Gleeson that happened to, which, hell yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. I love that transformation for sure. Yeah, you threw me in a whirlwind because I wasn't talking transformations, but that now that I'm thinking about
That's how
it,
I
I
think
mean there
Outbreak.
is yeah, I was talking about the outbreak and what caused the outbreaks. But yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, that is probably the best turning scene in all of zombie history. I mean, because other than that, I mean, yeah, because even the baby in Dawn of the Dead, I mean,
It
it
all
was
happened
already a
on the
zombie,
right. It all
you
happened
know?
on the inside, and most of the time, when we see transformations, it's off camera.
Ooh, I got one for you. The dog from I Am Legend
Oh, that
when
was good too. When he had to
when
when
the
he was holding him.
breathing, yeah.
Yeah, the
Oh my
breathing, and
god.
then and then
And then he saw the teeth and he saw that it was changing
he shot the
and like
motherfucker.
and then he just had to like shoot him.
Frank, what are you doing out here, Frank?
Yeah.
Frank, you better get
we
back
didn't even we
inside.
didn't even talk about I
That's
Am
a good
Legend. I
one
thought that
too,
was a
though.
I thought that was a great movie.
I remember
Um
that scene when when the mannequin's outside and he starts losing his shit, and I
mhm.
started to wonder, and I'm like, what's going on? I didn't really process the fact that that was moved, and he's
Mhm.
now like something's here, and
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. And if Frank,
At first
what
I
do you
thought
do?
he was just losing his mind.
Me too, but it turned out, I guess, one of the zombies, or maybe him. He could have moved it. Who know? We don't know. But there
Right.
is a part two coming, and Michael B.
Mhm.
Jordan is in it. So
Oh
excited,
yeah.
very excited about that.
I cannot wait. And just right off the bat, I feel like I Am Legend has some of the best like outbreak stories. He was just trying to cure cancer, man.
Yes,
He's trying to cure cancer.
yes, that's a good one too. I
And
walked in the middle of that film.
really, okay.
I
Well,
never
that was
told you
when
that.
no.
In the city, me and this girl I was dating. This was like right out of high school. We were walking because it's filmed in New York, and we walked on set by mistake. They just weren't blocking this one spot. We did the alleyway walk, and
Yeah.
it all of a sudden we're walking, and somebody starts running by, turns around, gives us a look, and turns out it's fucking Will Smith. And I said, "Hey, that's Will Smith." Some fucking big motherfucker grabs us. What the fuck are you guys doing? And we're like, what the fuck is that? And he goes, you just walked on a movie set. So we had to sign something
Wow.
to keep our mouths shut of what was going on, because we literally saw what was happening. It was pretty cool. You saw the green screen, so you just seen like the way it was set up. So there, you see him run, but he stopped.
Okay.
What the fuck? And yeah, I don't know why they didn't close it off that well, because it's a fucking movie set. You know, it's a hot
Yeah.
set.
And it's Will Smith.
And
Like,
it's Will Smith, but yeah, we were able to. It was on like by Union Square. We were able to actually get around. I thought it was strange why there was not many people walking that way,
right.
but
right.
it's probably because there was another sign that stated this is a hot set, and we just found a little alleyway walking. We were looking for a little pizza shop, and turned out we got to see Will Smith look at us, giving us a weird look. Fuck. So if you watch the movie and you see two people just going, "Hey," that's us.
Yeah, yeah. It's probably cut it out, but like if you
No, we're
do,
not in
let
the
me know.
movie. Trust me, I looked when I went to see it.
But yeah, man, I feel like I Am Legend had the best kind of like outbreak story with like a scientist is trying to cure cancer. And then they're all just kind of mutated.
Yes.
They still kind of have some kind of consciousness, but they're mutated. And then piggybacking off of that with The Last of Us and the plants and how fungus just grows out of nowhere, and like they can utilize that to like kind of take out all the like diseases and stuff from your body, and then ultimately they winded up just fucking all of us up. But yeah, those are two.
That's
of the
a
best,
real thing, by the way. I forgot
yeah,
to
no,
mention
no,
that.
I've
Yeah,
done research.
yes, that is a real. That can really. It can't. All right, so it can't technically happen to humans, at least not yet. But it does happen to like bugs and animals, because it does. It takes over the brain, and it like brainwashes you in a sense. So like we may get there one day. We don't know.
And that's what's great about like it all stemmed from the living dead, right? And
Yeah.
how you were dead and then they're coming out from the grave and now they're alive and they walk the earth. So it all stemmed from that to now realism, where it's just like, holy shit, things can, the way things is happening, I mean, the way they're telling us, it doesn't even necessarily mean that like we're dead and walking the earth. It's more of like we're infected and we're gonna take over the earth.
Right.
Hence the whole "we are all infected." from The Walking Dead. But yeah, man, I love talking about zombies. I could continue talking about zombies, but the bell's about to ring. So if you haven't seen any of these movies or played any of these games or these TV shows, if you haven't taken a watch into them or you started and stopped, please come back to them and form your own conclusions, because zombies are coming, I believe, whether we like it or not. Tommy, do you want to say anything before the bell rings?
Just like, subscribe, enroll with us at Night School Horror. Make sure to go and rate us, comment. We need to make sure you guys like what we're doing. Again, there's much to talk about, Mr. Malavi. There's so much more to details of talking about zombies, and we'll get there. We'll get there. But hey, you know what? The semester is coming to an end. The semester is going to be ending, and then we got to go to the next semester. So very excited to see where it's going. And just
that means it's open enrollment soon.
That's right. Open enrollment means everybody can get involved. You got to enroll with Night School Horror. And just so you know, Mr. Malave, that I have not forgotten, because WinterCon is coming up, sir. I know it's coming up because I won at Spooky Empire, and I get to challenge the champion, the Who You Got champion at WinterCon. And as you know, sir, it is WinterCon. And if you don't remember, undefeated at WinterCon. So I challenge you, sir. You can pick the topics, but I challenge you to 3 stages of winter.
You know what, sir? It's only right? It's only right that it comes down to you and me, and it comes down to WinterCon. It's the last con of the year, baby, and it has to be 3 stages of winter, because it wouldn't be WinterCon if it wasn't. And yes, I will pick those topics. As a matter of fact, I'll have them right now.
Oh,
are you ready?
I'm always
Are you ready, sir?
Let's go.
We're going with first stage, holiday songs.
Okay. All right. Good.
Second stage, we're bringing it back to Night School Horror, right? And we're gonna do best winter horror movies.
Ooh, movies that take place during the winter.
That's right.
Not just
during
holidays.
The winter.
During
Not
the
just
winter.
the holiday. During the winter, right?
Snow must be involved.
Snow has to be involved.
Cool.
It has to be in December. It has to be cold.
So it's December, January, February.
Oh yes, winter. We
have the winter season.
Honestly, it doesn't even have to be then. It just has to be cold.
Okay, that's fair.
You understand?
Yeah,
I hope you do.
I grasp
take
that.
it as you will, sir. There's no hints here. There's no fucking hints. All right. And then the third stage, if you get that far, the third stage, we get to pick our winter character. There's no challenge. There's no nothing. It's just my warrior versus your warrior. And we take it to the streets.
Yeah.
Best person wins. And the person that wins is the new Who You Got champion.
Well, you're already the champion, so you wouldn't be the new.
Still,
yeah,
you didn't let me. You know what?
You can't be the new. Because you don't let me. Champion.
You don't let me finish. You don't let me finish. All right. If you survive and you get that far, there will be a new Who You Got champion. But it's not going to even get that far, buddy. It's not. I will kill you in 2 stages because I'm that confident. Okay. I am the longest reigning Who You Got champion for a reason. And that reason is because I'm that damn good. Okay. So that's it. That is it, baby. I don't have anything else to say. Good night. Good luck. And I hope you don't get bit by a zombie, bitch.